Hola, muy buenas chavales, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estáis? Bienvenidos de nuevo aquí al canal, muy buenos días. Bueno, pues aquí estamos en el CAPITULO. Vale, vamos a ver si le tiramos este juego, ya que lo tenemos ahí, no nos pasamos y lo borramos del PC. Vamos con el segundo capítulo, que la otra vez avanzamos bastante, ¿eh? Avanzamos bastante. Vale, vamos a ver. Estamos en el capítulo 6 del juego. No creo que le quede mucho, la verdad, sinceramente. Vale, aquí estamos. Todo bien, todo correcto. Ese círculo, ¿por qué me sale ese círculo?
The other night's events are still confused in my head.
Bueno.
Let us go now and learn the truth about what's happening on this island.
Habla con la viuda de Sanders. Bueno, vamos a hablar con la viuda de Sanders. Vamos a salir para afuera y vamos a ver qué es lo que pasa. Si quiero subir juegos tiene que ser así. Tengo que hacer directos, tengo que hacer vídeos así y luego subirlos. Si no, no me da tiempo, Si me espero hacer los directos para jugarlos, no me da tiempo.
What can I do for you, sir?
Mrs. Sanders, I'm a private detective. We must talk about your husband and his ties to Sarah Hawkins. Can I come in?
You may. However, before we go any further, please know that my husband died yesterday.
That is precisely what brings me here.
Well, well, look who's here. You know each other?
We met briefly. Time enough to iron out a few matters. The main thing is that we understood one another. The brave detective has a talent for sticking his nose into my business.
I bump into her every time I'm investigating someone's death.
It's a small island, Detective. My island. It's better that it's you bumping into me.
You're investigating France's death. Why? Who hired you?
I spoke to Francis before he died. His story suggests a link to a case I'm working on.
Well, since this business has got nothing to do with me, I'll be in your husband's office, Irene. We'll carry on later.
Very well, Miss Baker. This way, Mr. Pierce. And do make yourself comfortable. It would seem that you have much to tell me. May I inquire as to when you had the opportunity to talk to my husband?
Yesterday, I met him at the hospital. He spoke to me about Sarah Hawkins.
Oh, of course he spoke to you about her. That's all he talked about. Sarah Hawkins and her paintings. Please forgive my tone. The fact is that I have not been allowed to see him since he was interned. You, on the other hand, a perfect stranger, were able to see him and even talk with him the day he died. How was he? Were you present when he had this attack? What happened?
Vale.
He started raving, screaming that a dimensional shambler had found him.
Oh, mercy, that story again. Why have him interned?
That was when he began to convulse and twist with pain. Or terror. It's hard to tell.
I beg your pardon?
I'm not really sure of what I saw. Or what I didn't see. But it's best that you weren't there.
I should have been there. What you're telling me is outrageous. I need to understand. How could this happen? In a reputed institute? And right before your eyes. Did you not do anything to help him?
So ask Fuller. He's the eminent doctor. But I would caution you. You'll find his treatments more terrifying than the illnesses he sets out to cure.
That churl no longer takes the trouble to receive me. He sends his secretary to tell me that I cannot see Francis. Me. His own widow. He must think that I am a terrible wife for having abandoned him in such a way. But I only wanted what was best for him.
I'm not here to condemn you, Mrs. Sanders.
Oh, I'm tired, Mr. Pierce. I would be grateful if you could tell me what you expect of me, and then leave.
May I ask you what Miss Baker is doing here? How do you know her?
My business with Miss Baker is private, Mr. Pierce.
But you do know what kind of business Miss Baker is in.
I am no fool. Please believe that much, at least.
Did your husband talk to you about Sarah Hawkins' visitor? A shambler, to use his precise terms.
Well, you can imagine that's all he talked about. It's exhibited at the center of the gallery. No better place for the painting that endowed him with the privilege of such a shameful and miserable end to his life.
Hold on. The Shambler is a painting by Sarah Hawkins.
Who else to paint such horrors? Take a look for yourself, if you feel so inclined.
It is my only lead at this stage. I suppose I have nothing to lose.
Then you have paid no heed. For my part, I refuse to set foot in that gallery again. But if you're so eager to see it...
Thank you, Mrs. Sanders. I won't be long.
Vale, bueno, hasta ahí unos puntos.
Did she really care for him after all?
Estimada señora, por la presente acuso el recibo de la carta en la que nos exige el cuerpo de su fallecido marido. Siento informarle de que no puedo dar cumplimiento a su petición. En el momento de su ingreso, firmó usted un documento de descargo donde me otorgaba permiso para disponer de él. Le transmito mis máximas condolencias. Thomas Fuller.
The day the Shambler came into the Sanders' lives. A house of artists. A house of artists.
Examina el cuadro del vagabundo. ¿Dónde está?
A house of artists.
¿Cómo conecta ese cuadro? ¿No? Examinar el cuadro del vagabundo. ¿Dónde está ese cuadro? Bueno, pues ya estamos, de rollo. ¿Qué si cuadro hay poco?
A house of artists. Un cuadro. Cuadro. ¿Dónde cojones está ese cuadro? Por aquí yo no puedo pasar. Y por aquí tampoco puedo. ¿Se ha vuelto a buguear esto o qué cojones pasa? Si es que hay 2 cuadros, 3, 4, 5 cuadros.
No entiendo nada. Puedo interactuar con el piano.
A house of artists. Francis Sanders and Sarah Hawkins were close. Friends, even? A house of artists. Sanders' accession register. He wrote beside the Shambler, "Finally." What did Sarah Hawkins fear so much that she didn't want to sell the painting? He finally won. Was Sanders aware of his imminent doom? She didn't want Sanders to have the painting. She must have felt devastated.
Cosas.
Was she jealous of Sarah Hawkins? The Shambler. I need to see it. Let's see what this cylinder has to say once it's inserted in a phonograph.
Esa cara está movida, ¿eh?
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes. I can't take any more. I can't hold him back. Forgive me.
That accursed painting. Those accursed paintings. That accursed Sarah.
Irene, I made a mistake.
Soy el piano de fondo.
I fear that it might be too late for me. nobody should enter.
Soy el piano, una música en el piano.
I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes. I can't take any more. I can't hold him back.
Soy el piano de fondo, ¿sabéis? Pero es muy difícil de saber.
Irene, I made a mistake.
¿Qué teclas son?
I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes. I can't take any more. I can't hold it back. Forgive me.
Tin, tin, son.
Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter. Irene, I made a mistake. Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes. Irene,
¿Cuántas notas hay?
I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter.
4 notas.
Burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes. I can't take any more. I can't hold it back. Irene, I made a mistake. I fear that it might be too late for me. Nobody should enter, except to burn everything. I never had the courage. Pay somebody to do it. He's inside my head. I see him behind my eyelids each time I shut my eyes.
Eso.
I can't take any more. I can't hold him back.
Estas no suenan. No tiene sentido lo del piano, sinceramente. No suena las teclas igual.
I could use one of those. Strange. For months, Sarah Hawkins refused to part with her painting, to finally give it away for nothing. A strange Amerindian pendant. An old diary.
Llave de la galería de sangre.
That's twice you've stepped on my toes, Detective. Try not to make a habit of it.
I've got a lot of bad habits.
What have you come looking for in this gallery?
Another painting by Sarah Hawkins. One connected to the horrors I've discovered on this island.
What a surprise. I'm listening.
All's fair in love and war, I suppose.
Not now, sweetheart. I'd like to read this without some snoop looking over my shoulder.
These artifacts date from pre-Columbian times. The public entrance to the gallery. Why was he so interested in old weapons? The man transformed an entire wing of his manor into an art gallery.
Ahí está el cuadro.
What the hell was that?
¿Lo has visto? Joder.
Damn. Maybe I can use this dagger.
Vamos a ver cómo matamos nosotros a esto. No sé qué tengo que hacer, La daga es que no ataca, se cubre. Bueno, vamos a ver, nos va a matar. Hay que pillarlo por la espalda.
What the hell was that? Damn. Did it? Maybe I can use this dagger.
No sé qué tengo que hacer.
What the hell was that?
No sé.
Maybe I can use this dagger.
Vamos a ver. ¿Con algún botón ataca esto? No entiendo. ¿No ataca con ningún botón?
What the hell was that? Maybe I can use this dagger.
No dice nada. Esto tengo que mirar a ver cómo se me hace bicho, tío. No damos los otros. Cuida forma de matarlo, joder. Bueno, el bicho este, tío. Vamos a ver. Oh, no puede.
Muy buenas a todos, gente, ¿cómo estáis?
Calla, chivato. Este está aquí. No tengo que mirar por la espalda. Vale, creo que ya sé cómo es. Vamos allá.
What the hell was that?
¿No viene? Saldré y me pillará. No viene, joder. Venga, nada más.
Damn. This dagger looks different.
¡Que viene, que viene, que viene, que viene! Adiós.
What's the matter with you? Don't tell me that you're going crazy, too.
You didn't see anything.
I saw you within an inch of putting a dagger through your forearm. Did I miss something more interesting?
I was attacked by a creature. I pushed it back, I think.
I think so too.
You knew about the beast.
What are you talking about? Think yourself lucky that I saved your hand, even if it was to save my goods.
You mean me?
Don't flatter yourself, sweetheart. I'm talking about the contents of this gallery. And by the way, where do you think you're going with that dagger?
It saved my life. It's an extraordinary dagger.
You should talk to Algernon Drake. He's an antique dealer here on Darkwater. He'll tell you all about it. From what I saw in the ledgers, it was him who sold it to Sanders.
The creature, this dagger, was the only weapon capable of pushing it back. If Hawkins was trying to get rid of this shambler, she might have made contact with Drake. This antique dealer has a good knowledge of the occult. I have nothing to lose by meeting him.
You've got your spunk back. Go where you want. I'm staying here to talk business with Irene.
En el piano, tocando la nota del piano, salía un libro y te decía la daga que tenías que coger para matar al bicho.
Where's the bookseller? Freud's The Interpretation of Dreams. It's the work that laid the foundations of psychoanalysis at the beginning of this century. The Book of Zion is the foundational work behind Helena Blavatsky's Theosophical movement. Its followers placed truth on the same footing as a religion. An old diary. What does this strange book contain? This book contains unholy knowledge. What happened here?
Otro...
Let's start over. Where did they break in from? What sort of thief leaves his tools at the crime scene? What killed all these animals? What happened that made the burglar flee before finishing his work? What the... Charles Hawkins?
Mira los números bien, ¿eh? Cinco, 3, 9. Cinco, 3, 9.
What sort of power did Sarah Hawkins' painting possess? Sarah Hawkins helped hide something in this safe. Drake put in a great deal of effort to hide whatever is in here. Everything is linked to the Sarah Hawkins case.
No, aquí eso es 5. Capítulo 8. Cuando lo abre, su mente se proyecta en otro cuerpo.
Dr. Colden, this man's condition is deteriorating.
What says Dr. Fuller? It's his patient, after all.
He's busy with Captain Fitzroy. He specifically asked us not to bother him when that's the case.
Oh, of course. I'll see what I can do. Mr. Blake, can you hear me? I'm Dr. Colden. We'll take care of you.
There's nothing we can do. I tried talking to him. He's catatonic.
Did you inject him with a tranquilizer?
No, Doctor. Not me, not anyone. Our stock is empty, yet again.
Again? But there was enough for the whole island.
More and more people are suffering from insomnia. We can't refuse to help.
Of course.
Any idea what this man might be undergoing?
Very well. I'll examine him. His skin shows abnormal loss of color and seems dried out. He's totally dehydrated. His fingertips and toes seem to feature a slight ring under the skin, tender at the touch, slightly sticky. 30-year-old subject, severe hypothermia, erythematous papules around the eyes and eardrums, necrosed palpebral tissue. Lord, this smell. Severe malnutrition. Swollen abdomen with traces of petechia. Doesn't seem like an edema. Slight protuberances seem to indicate the presence of a foreign body.
So, Doctor, an opinion?
I'm not sure I have the necessary knowledge to treat this man.
Don't say that. You're our most worthy doctor after Dr. Fuller.
Some of his symptoms are beyond my comprehension.
What did you find?
Did you examine his abdomen? It would seem there's something inside.
He hasn't eaten in days. Are you certain it's not an edema?
No. Can't you recognize an edema? Pushing with your finger won't leave a trace. And look at these bumps.
It's not like he could be pregnant.
Whatever it is, this man has something inside him that shouldn't be there. We should operate on him at once.
Dr. Fuller said not to worry, that the edema would go away by itself.
You know, I'm not sure Dr. Fuller is telling the truth. I see signs of hypodermoclysis, but he's still dehydrated. When was his last IV?
He's constantly under perfusion. I've even gone beyond the recommended dose to no avail. And you won't believe me, but when we bathed him earlier...
He seemed to feel better?
Yes. Like he needs an aquarium, not a perfusion. But that doesn't explain his condition.
In spite of the muscle contractions, his arms seem limp.
Yes. They can't have decalcified, not at this rate.
And yet, if there is a bone in this arm, it's softer than that of a newborn baby. What about his cranium?
It's soft at the touch. It does seem like the skull of a baby.
Look at these sticky rings growing at his fingertips. What can be happening?
I'm sure you'll find an explanation. You have to.
I almost don't believe it myself, but these symptoms are not those usually associated with the human species.
What do you mean? Don't tell me you believe in extraterrestrials.
No. This poor man is from our world, all right. But his body is undergoing unnatural mutations, and this transformation is killing him. His body simply can't cope.
Where could he have gotten such an infection?
I pray that it's not here.
Dr. Colden, may I know what you're doing to my patient?
What I'm doing? How about what you've done to him?
Let us calm down, my dear Marie. I don't appreciate your tone, nor your insinuations. I've done to him what I do to all my patients, provide him with the best available care.
Your imagination is without limit. It's your homemade drug again, is it not? Those people are not your guinea pigs.
There, there. What have you seen to put you in such a state?
I've seen suction cups on his fingers, his falling body temperature, his dehydration. Had I only read the report, you know what I would have concluded, Doctor.
Do I? Tell me anyway. I'm curious.
He's no longer human. These are the attributes of an animal.
Fascinating. An animal, you say? Could you be more precise? Cephalopod, perhaps?
This amuses you.
Your reaction does. I know your thirst for knowledge, Doctor. It's your innocent worries for this man that have you overreacting.
For this man, and the others whose medical files you've been hiding.
I have to protect my discovery. These people owe me their life, but the world isn't ready yet. It will be, in time.
I will not let you do this.
You disappoint me, Marie, but I still have hope you'll one day share my point of view. In the meantime, take care of your own patients and try not to forget who you're dealing with.
Was that a threat? What did he mean?
It was a warning. Dr. Fuller is this institution's founder and one of our profession's most influential voices. My word is of no weight against his. If I continue to protest, I will only ruin my reputation and career.
It's scandalous. Can't we do anything? Is there no evidence of his crimes?
Don't you get involved in this. You've done enough already.
But doctor, this man is dying.
There's nothing we can do about it. He's in the hands of Dr. Fuller. Do you wish to end up like Elizabeth? With a diploma from Nightingale and the chores of a cleaning lady?
No. You're right.
Let me do my own investigation. It's time I found those missing files.
And where would you find those? In his office? What if you get caught?
I'd rather not think about that. I'm counting on your discretion.
Of course, Doctor. You can count on me. I'll keep mum.
Vale. Trae la consulta de Fuller.
Everybody says it. She's a witch, an old hag. I didn't make this up. And I'm the one who pays. What a pest. Everybody says it. She's a witch, an old hag. I didn't make this up. And I'm the one who pays. What a pest.
Elizabeth? You all right? Why is this room in such a state?
Because, as always, I'm cleaning it by myself. And the water was once again shut off this morning. I had to bother Mrs. Donovan again, giving her a new excuse to belittle me.
Do you really need Mrs. Donovan to open a valve? Why not ask the janitor?
I can't make these decisions without her approval. Imagine if there were a leak. Anyhow, the boiler room is locked half the time. So every time the water gets shut off, I have to go and endure her reproach until she's settled.
I see. Courage, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Doctor. Everything all right?
All is well, Elizabeth.
Thank God.
Courage, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Doctor.
I have little time for you, Doctor. You'll find out that it's not only the doctors who have things to do.
Bueno.
Wait a minute. Where do you think you're going? Dr. Colden.
Mrs. Donovan.
Nobody goes into Dr. Fuller's office. But rest assured, I'll tell him you came by.
That won't be necessary. Thank you.
I will tell him, nonetheless.
Sorda. Cortar el agua.
Everybody says it. She's a witch, an old hag. I didn't make this up. And I'm the one who pays.
The answers must be hidden in Fuller's office.
It's so unfair.
The answers must be hidden in Fuller's office. The answers must be hidden in Fuller's office.
No.
Doctor, please. My chest. Oh.
His perfusion of a semi-physiological solution doesn't seem to work. He's undergoing a ventricular fibrillation. Nurse? Deborah, come and help me, please. His potassium level is too high. Replace it with 2% glucose solution with insulin, calcium, and sodium bicarbonate.
I'll tend to it right away.
Thank you. He's in your hands.
The whaling station. What's wrong with me?
What are you talking about?
Doctor, that you?
Yes, it's Dr. Colden. Tell me what happened.
It's the old whaling station. See?
What did you see there?
Nothing. Nothing at all. The floor was all rotten and I fell straight through.
And that's how you broke your back?
Perhaps. No idea. Passed out. I'll just sleep a bit more.
Dr. Colden, here you are at last. This patient was again brought up to the psychiatric wing. We've been following the treatment you prescribed, but the dysgeusia persists and he's lost a great deal of weight. We haven't been able to move him. The stress makes him hyperallergic.
Sir, I am going to examine you. Do you understand? Inject him with a dose of pentobarbital, intramuscular, so that I can conduct the clinical examination. He bit his lips so much, they're still bleeding. White froth, evidently because of such drooling. His binds left bloody wounds.
So, Doctor, what should we do with this patient?
Those basement brutes tied him up too tight and now he's hurt.
I keep trying to heal his wounds, but he reopens them.
Do you have a diploma as a nurse?
Excuse me?
So take care of this man. Mrs. Sanders? Gentlemen, may I help you?
We're waiting on news regarding our mother, Maureen Harding. She came in with a kidney problem, but we haven't heard anything since.
I'm sorry. Dr. Fuller is a very busy man.
Well, is there anyone else who can tell us what's going on?
She's our only family, you know? And we can't even see her medical file.
Don't worry. I'm aware our institution is not always welcoming. But your mother is in good hands. I'll tend to her myself. And keep you informed at once. Would that suit you?
Well, that sure sounds great to us, Doctor. Thank you.
But those are just words, so we're not budging.
Very well. At least I'll know where to find you.
I'll just sleep a bit more.
Esta será la madre. ¿Cómo se va a interactuar?
Hay fever? What's he doing here? Chronic insomnia. Like half the island.
No, you're pulling my leg. I'm not joking. I saw the schedule. She's alone in the bathroom again.
Watch out for the water,
she
Doctor.
still says nothing to that old witch, Donovan.
Oh, listen to the way you talk, you naughty girl. And the answer is no. You can imagine that she doesn't dare say a thing. That silly goose lets herself be trodden on.
Oh, well. At least we won't have to clean for a while.
And just wait and see the next time the water's cut off. It's a real show.
The doses prescribed by Fuller are far too high. We're running out of this medicine.
I know, Doctor. We sent the purchase order, though, but Mrs. Donovan refused it.
Once again.
Can't you do anything?
Donovan takes her instructions directly from Dr. Fuller. I'm afraid I can do nothing about it for the moment. We've been waiting to be restocked for weeks. The door to the boiler room is locked. I have to get the key if I wish to get rid of Donovan. The operating room is never accessible after an operation. Let's hope I can go through the administration office.
La llave. Para el cargo de... ¿Dónde está la llave?
The boiler room key is not in its place. The boiler room key is not in its place. Dr. Fuller always keeps his key with him.
Dr. Colden, we need you at once in Dormitory B.
Would you know where the key to the boiler room is?
Betty didn't put it back in its place. Well, she took it to lock the door.
I'll ask her. Thank you.
But if I may say so, Doctor, I think that the problems of our patients are more urgent than the plumbing.
What is the problem?
Mr. Evans seems to be having trouble with his IV.
I've done an exam. Deborah is looking...
And the family of Mrs. Harding is asking to see her medical file.
I'll never understand why it's so hard to see patients...
Rules are rules. See, with Dr. Anyhow, they're still waiting, and I don't think they'll leave until...
Understood. Anything else?
As a matter of fact, yes.
I saw him, yes. They bring them up, without any explanation, with a multitude of self-inflicted... Each time, I feel like I'm sending them back to hell.
Their affliction is not our responsibility. You can...
This man, Edward Pierce, his file is incomplete. What did Fuller do to him?
Dr. Colden.
Dr. Colden?
Hello, Betty. I'm looking for the key to the boiler room.
What for?
To put it in its place. Perhaps I should do the same with you.
I beg your pardon?
I suspect you of having a little too much fun at Elizabeth's expense. But be warned, it could easily be you they will all be laughing at tomorrow.
You are right, Doctor. The key is in the dormitory office in Block B.
Thank you. I shall go fetch it.
Dr. Colden? What for?
To put it in its place. I suspect you, but be warned.
You are right. The key is in the dormitory office in Block B.
Thank you.
El pabellón B.
The answers must be hidden in Fuller's office. The key to the boiler room. All I have to do is shut off the water and hope Donovan takes the bait. The operating room is never accessible after an operation.
No voy a estar en la sala de caldera.
Let's hope I can go through the administration office.
¿Qué puerta era?
I can't shut this with my bare hands. I need a tool.
Encontrar una herramienta.
I can't shut this with my bare hands. I need a tool. Let's hope I can go through the administration office.
Encontrar una herramienta.
Everybody says it. She's a witch, an old hag. I didn't make this up. And I'm the one who pays.
It's temperamental, if I understand correctly.
It's so unfair.
It's temperamental, if I understand correctly.
Esto se había dado antes de comunicar con una herramienta.
I feel guilty about Elizabeth, but I need the diversion. It's temperamental, if I understand correctly. It's temperamental, if I understand correctly.
I have little time for you, Doctor. You'll find out that it's not only the doctors who have things to do.
Vale, entonces la casa, ahora esta de caldera. ¿Y ahora qué?
The operating room is never accessible after an operation.
¿Y ahora qué? ¿Eh?
So, Doctor, have you been able to examine our mother?
Pardon me, but could you remind me what—
We're waiting on news regarding our mother, Maureen Harding.
I'm sorry, but I don't have time for this right now.
They're taking us for fools.
Dr. Colden?
He broke his back in an accident down by the docks.
I'll just sleep a bit more.
Ah, so there's Harding. She's still sleeping. Given her file, a nephrectomy would have been inevitable, but Fuller was able to save her kidney.
So, Doctor, have you been able to—
I've tended to her, and I have good news. Her blood analysis is reassuring. Her kidneys are as new.
Are you talking about the same person? This is miraculous.
She's still recovering, but you may speak to her upon her awakening.
Oh, thank you so much, Doctor. We'll wait for her to wake up. We've been here since this morning, so it won't make a difference.
Patients and hospital personnel eat the same food.
No sé qué tengo que hacer. No sé cómo.
The answers must be hidden in Fuller's office. It's temperamental, if I understand correctly.
I have little time for you, Doctor. You'll find out that it's not only the doctors who have things to do.
No sé lo que tengo que hacer para despistar a esta tía, Esta es... Volver con Elizabeth. ¿Elizabeth? ¿Quién es Elizabeth? Ahí está.
Dr. Holden, might there be a problem with the water?
I was about to mention it. It seems it's been cut off yet again.
I can't take this, Marie. I feel I'm gonna burst.
It's not your fault if we have defective plumbing.
Courage, Elizabeth. Here we go.
Entrego.
At last. The missing files must be hidden here. I should go another way. The Stendhal syndrome. Of course. This is where Fuller found his diagnosis for Francis Sanders. Something is wrong with these masts. It's some sort of puzzle.
Oh. Un puzzle. Vale, supongo que las velas tendremos que ponerlas. Para el otro lado. Así.
I've unlocked something. Patient files. I was right.
Conclusions. Session number 17. Patient? Sarah Hawkins. The patient appears to have finally accepted the illusory nature of what she calls the mythos. It goes without saying that these peculiar delusions are the price that comes with her exceptional gifts.
Why does Dr. Fuller write psychological reports about Sarah Hawkins?
At first, I presumed that her blood was the key. But I found nothing to explain Mrs. Hawkins' abilities.
The poor souls downstairs are not Fuller's only subjects.
Then James came, irate that Charles was keeping secrets from him. I presume that he will try to break into the basement sooner or later. I am prepared.
Hawkins, Fitzroy, and Fuller. What is the connection between these three?
It is fortunate that I had the presence of mind to set them all in the basement. When all the fuss about the Hawkins incident finally comes to an end, I will dispose of her belongings. In the meantime, they must remain hidden in plain sight.
Of course. Sarah Hawkins is the connection. I must go back to the basement.
Bajar a la psiquiátrica. Ya está. Vale.
Ah, now that's the Marie that I know. I knew I could count on your scientific curiosity. It's time to show you what you were so eager to discover.
Bueno,
If you're gonna shoot me, at least have the decency to look me in the eyes.
Turn around. Slowly. Talk, filthy thief! Or I swear I'll shoot!
I came to this island to investigate a death and ended up in your shop.
How convenient.
I'm serious. I saw the broken glass and followed the path. The book. Why was it in the safe?
Have you read it?
And
How now you won't be able to escape his will. What did it show you?
she went into Fuller's office. She was looking for Sarah Hawkins'
Sarah Hawkins. Let's go back to the start. Whose life did the Necronomicon choose to show you?
Dr. Colden. She was at the rivers. She's in danger. I have to go.
Wait! No one knows the occult better than me. You might need my help.
All right. All right. I might need you.
Perfect. Let's meet later at the Now go! Rescue the doctor!
Thank you, Drake.
Ok. Capítulo 9, vamos hacia el psiquiátrico. Pero nosotros lo vamos a ir dejando aquí porque llevamos ya como 1 hora y 45 minutos, ¿vale? Seguiremos con el juego hasta que nos lo pasemos, ¿vale? No voy a hacer directos, lo voy a subir. Yo jugaré fuera del directo y luego subiré lo que es este juego, ¿ok? Y así nos lo quitamos del medio, ¿vale? Una vez que nos pasemos este, pues añadiremos en su puesto el Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Aunque también tenemos ahí el Overkill de Walking Dead. ¿vale? A ver si pasa esta intro.
I pray that Colden is really here. And alive.
Vale. Pues lo dicho, chavales. Lo dejamos aquí, ¿ok? Ya sabéis, si like, si os gustó y si no, suscribíos si no estáis. Y nos vemos luego más tarde en los próximos directos, ¿ok? Hasta luego, máquinas. Chao.